We hear the numbers all the time: job losses, plant closures, economic shifts. These statistics are repeated on the news, in reports, and in conversations, echoing through our daily lives. But behind every statistic is a person, a family, a community. Each number represents a story, a life that's been changed, and a future that's suddenly uncertain. A job isn't just a number, it's the rhythm of daily life, the pride of building something real, the security of providing for loved ones. It's the early morning alarm, the shared coffee breaks, the satisfaction of a job well done. When a factory closes, it's not just paychecks that disappear, it's a way of life. The routines, the friendships, the sense of purpose, all vanish in an instant. The headlines and charts can't capture the loss of purpose. The silence where there was once camaraderie and routine. The laughter in the break room, the teamwork on the line, gone, replaced by uncertainty and worry. These are the invisible costs, losses that ripple through homes and neighborhoods, often unseen by those outside. The pride in a hard day's work, the dignity of belonging, the feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself. These are things that can't be measured on a spreadsheet. The structure that holds families and towns together is built on these jobs, these routines, and these shared experiences. When they're lost, the whole community feels the impact. When we reduce these stories to numbers, we erase the faces and the pain. We forget the dreams put on hold, the plans that must be rewritten. Let's look past the data and talk about the people and communities built around these factories. Let's remember the generations who worked side by side, building not just products, but a sense of identity. Let's acknowledge the real consequences of watching a way of life vanish, one shuttered plant at a time. The loss is more than economic, it's deeply personal. This isn't just economics, it's about who we are as a country. It's about the values we share, the promises we make, and the futures we hope to build together. It's about the promises we make to each other, and the challenge of keeping them. It's about standing together in tough times and finding ways to move forward. The story of American industry is a human story, deserving honesty and empathy. It's a story of resilience, of families supporting each other, and of communities refusing to give up. It's not about charts, it's about lives. It's about the hopes and struggles of real people, whose stories deserve to be heard. When the engine stops, the true cost is measured in lost dreams and broken bonds. The silence left behind is a reminder of what's truly at stake. We owe it to ourselves to see the full picture, to listen to the voices of those affected, and to remember that every number has a name. To understand what's at stake, we must see beyond the numbers. We must recognize the human cost and the resilience that remains. We must see the people at the center, their strength, their hope, and their determination to rebuild. This is a story that matters. It's a story about all of us and the future we choose to create. And it's time we told it right, with compassion, with honesty, and with the recognition that behind every number, there's a life worth honoring. In many towns, the factory was the heartbeat, its hum, the soundtrack of daily life. Shift changes brought the town to life. Local diners and bars thrived. The factory wasn't just in the town, it was the town. Then one day the announcement comes: the plant is closing. The reasons, global competition, automation, don't matter as much as the result. The assembly line falls silent, parking lots empty, and the town's rhythm breaks. The silence spreads into playgrounds, storefronts, and homes. Businesses struggle, families worry, and hope fades. The factory stands as a hollow shell, a monument to what was lost. The silence isn't just quiet, it's the sound of a future being canceled, and the community is left holding its breath. For generations, a factory job was the foundation of the American dream, a cornerstone of hope and opportunity for countless families across the nation. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work with a promise. Show up, work hard, and you could build a good life, a life filled with stability and the potential for upward mobility. These jobs offered more than a paycheck. They offered pride, purpose, and a path to the middle class, a chance to provide for your family and secure a future for your children. You could point to something and say, "I made that," a tangible proof of your hard work and dedication. The factory was a social center. Co-workers were neighbors, friends, teammates, and the bonds formed there extended beyond the workplace. The bonds formed on the line held the community together, creating a network of support and camaraderie. When these jobs vanish, so does the pride, the stability, and the sense of belonging that once defined these communities. Laid-off workers lose more than income. they lose identity and support, a part of themselves that was intertwined with their work. Telling them to just get another job misses the point entirely, as it overlooks the deep-rooted connections and sense of purpose that came with their work. It wasn't just work, it was a way of life, a source of dignity, and the glue of families and towns binding generations together. The loss is personal, communal, and deeply felt, leaving a void that is hard to fill. The American dream for many was built on the factory floor, where hard work and determination could lead to a better life. When that floor disappears, so does the dream, leaving behind empty buildings and shattered hopes. The impact ripples far beyond the plant gates, affecting every aspect of community life. And the community is left searching for what comes next, grappling with uncertainty and the challenge of rebuilding their lives and dreams. Across America, towns bear the scars of factory closures. Places like Georgetown, Marysville, and countless others once thrived on steady, well-paying jobs. The factories funded schools, built homes, and kept Main Street alive. But when the industry shifts, decisions made far away seal a town's fate. The closure hits like a shockwave, jobs vanish, families scramble, and the local economy seizes up. Businesses lose customers, contractors stop getting calls, and the tax base shrinks. Schools, roads, and services suffer. Young people leave, the population ages, and optimism fades. The town grows quieter, not just economically but in spirit. The empty factory stands as a painful reminder of broken promises. These towns aren't just struggling, they're grieving. They mourn the loss of identity and the future they believed in, and the heart of the community stops beating. The numbers don't show you Dave, who gave 30 years to the plant and now feels lost. He wakes up each morning, still rising before dawn out of habit, but the routine that once gave his life meaning is gone. The garage where he tinkers with old tools is quieter now, filled with memories of a job that once defined him. Or Sarah, whose diner was the factory's cafeteria, now struggling to stay open. She remembers the laughter and chatter of workers on their lunch breaks, the regulars who became friends. Now, she watches the empty booths and wonders how long she can keep the lights on, hoping for a miracle that never seems to come. Or Maria, a single mom who went from a union job to juggling part-time work with no benefits. She spends her nights worrying about bills, her days racing between jobs, barely seeing her children. The security she once felt has vanished, replaced by a constant gnawing uncertainty. These are the real stories behind the headlines. They are stories of resilience, heartbreak, and hope, often overlooked in the rush of breaking news. Dave's skills are obsolete, his confidence shaken. He wonders if anyone will value what he knows, or if his best years are behind him. Sarah's business collapsed overnight, her staff like family. She feels responsible for their livelihoods, carrying the weight of their futures on her shoulders. Maria's stability is gone. Exhaustion and worry have replaced hope. She tries to stay strong for her kids, but the strain shows in her tired eyes. The ripple effect touches everyone. The mechanic, the real estate agent, the teacher with shrinking classes. Each person feels the loss in their own way as the community's fabric unravels. Each has a name, a face, a life upended. Their stories are unique, but their pain is shared. They are not statistics, they are our neighbors. They are the people we see at the grocery store, at church, at school events. They did everything right, but the ground shifted beneath them. Through no fault of their own, their world changed overnight. When a factory closes, it's not just a business lost, it's a community broken. The heart of the town stops beating, and the silence is deafening. The human cost is real, and it's everywhere. It lingers in empty storefronts, in quiet homes, in dreams put on hold. These stories remind us, behind every number is a life. Every statistic hides a family, a future, a hope that once burned bright. And every life deserves to be seen. Their struggles matter, their voices deserve to be heard. This is the true cost of a shuttered plant. It's measured not just in dollars, but in dreams deferred and communities forever changed. When a factory closes, the first domino is the jobs. But the chain reaction devastates everything. Local suppliers lose their biggest customer overnight. Small businesses can't survive the loss. Service businesses, diners, barbers, stores, see customers vanish. Main Street empties for lease signs multiply. The public sector suffers next. Property values drop, tax revenue shrinks, schools and services are cut. The town's fabric unravels. Fewer teachers, slower emergency response, neglected roads. Health insurance disappears, stress and illness rise, and hope fades. Substance abuse and depression increase. The pride of a working town is replaced by shame and uncertainty. The domino effect leaves a community poorer, sicker, and struggling to survive. It's easy to see a factory closure as a local problem, but it's a national crisis. This isn't just economic churn, it's a pattern, a slow dismantling of America's industrial base. The loss of manufacturing jobs isn't evolution, it's devastation for millions. Service jobs can't replace union wages, benefits, or security. We've traded making things for buying cheap things, and the cost is clear. It's a national security issue. Without factories, we lose skills, capacity, and resilience. The pandemic showed our vulnerability when we couldn't make what we needed. This crisis is quiet, grinding, and often ignored. But for affected communities, it's urgent and real. Factory closures are symptoms of a systemic failure. This is a national problem needing a national response. We can't let another generation be left behind. To fix what's broken, we can learn from others. Countries like Germany see manufacturing as a future asset, not a relic. They invest in workers through vocational training and apprenticeships. Laid-off workers get real pathways to new skills and jobs. Government, business, and labor partner to keep industries strong and workers skilled. Other nations invest in strategic sectors, renewables, robotics, advanced tech. They incentivize building at home, not abroad. They play the long game, planning for the future. This isn't abandoning free enterprise, it's being smart and strategic. America has the talent. We need a national strategy worthy of our people. It's time to invest in ourselves again. The challenge is huge, but so is our capacity for hard work and innovation. Now is the time to rebuild, starting with real support for workers in towns hit hardest. We need robust job retraining linked to future industries. Clean energy, robotics, infrastructure. A national strategy should encourage companies to invest here, not overseas. Enforce trade laws, invest in skilled labor, and rebuild vocational schools. Modern apprenticeships can offer debt-free paths to good careers. We must honor skilled labor and restore the dignity of building things. This isn't partisan, it's American. The work is hard, but the spirit that built this country is still alive. It's time to put it back to work.